Hi everybody, and welcome to my channel. Okay, today is the start of a new week as far as my diet plan or my weight loss plan is going. I'm on to the 15th day today, so hopefully it'll keep on going in the same direction that I've been going so far. So today I'm just going to put up my stats in a few minutes of how my food I've had yesterday and my blood pressure and things like that. So I'll put that up in a minute. And then following that, I'm going to just talk about 3 changes that I'm going to make that have been brought about basically by doing this weight loss plan and doing this YouTube channel. Okay, now I've put my stats up here, which I do every day, and I'm going to have to start thinking about a better way of presenting them. But in the meantime, I've just put them up the same way that they've always been put up, just with all my heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen levels, and then just the diet plan that I followed yesterday, or the meal plan that I followed yesterday, with all the foods and their calorific values and energy levels and everything else stated in there as well. Now, just to start off with these changes that I'm going to make, I firstly decided that there were some things that needed to be changed, especially now that I'm sort of settling into this weight loss journey, and also getting a bit more used to doing these YouTube videos. I didn't realise at the start, I was going to just sort of do one a week, but it's not going to make a lot of progress like that, so that's why I've started doing one a day. However, it does take a lot of time, and it takes a lot of thinking about what I'm going to be talking about every day. So that's one of the things that I've had to start being a lot more conscious of, is thinking about what I'm going to be talking about the next day and the next day, and start planning ahead a wee bit. And in that process, I've started to think about just these 3 things that I want to start making a change on starting from today. Now, they're only personal things for me. The first one is to make an absolute effort to clean out my wardrobe and my drawers. I've said once before that I've got clothes in there from right down from small size up to double XL, and I keep them there because I never quite know where I'm going to be on the scale of weight and one thing and another. So I've decided that I am going to make a concerted effort to clean that out and get rid of clothes that are too big for me now, so that I don't end up going back into them, and start looking through some of the ones that are on the smaller sides, which I know I'm never ever going to get into. Some of them I've had for many, many years, because I've only worn them a few times, and there's even 1 or 2 things in there that have still got the price tag on them. So I'm going to have to make a very concerted effort to get in there and have a good sort through. The other thing also is the drawers, the chest of drawers where I've got all my clothes that aren't hanging in the wardrobe. Now, I did a check, oh God, months and months ago, as I had a bit of a tidy up in the drawers, and I think I counted about 42 t-shirts that I had in there. Some of those haven't seen the light of day for a number of years, so they are going to be sorted through and a good chunk of them thrown out. So there's t-shirts and there's all sorts of other bits and pieces that are in there that need to be sorted out and sort of given the old heave-ho out the door. So I'm going to start doing I'm going to put it into sections. I'm going to start sort of like one section and do so much per day, because it is going to be a huge job, and I do have lots of other things that I try and get done during the day. So If I can just take a chunk of time out of my day just to do that, just to make make progress in one small area, then that's going to be an achievement. But I am going to work out exactly how I'm going to approach it and the expected time that when I want to have it all finished. And that way, I'm sure it's not only going to get rid of a lot of clutter out of my wardrobe, it'll get rid of a lot of clutter out of my head as well, because I'm very aware of all the stuff that's in there. Well, most of it, because sometimes I'll go in there and I'll go looking for something. I think, oh, I haven't seen that for a while. Oh, have I still got that? So it's just a ridiculous situation. It's just got to be done. It's got to be sorted out, and I'm going to make a concerted effort to do that. So that's the first thing that I'm going to make an effort to do. Now, the next thing I'm going to look at is on the same type of theme, but to go a lot more minimalist in the house. The reason I say this is since I've been in this house, I've had my mum staying with me for about 11 years. I've still got my brother here with me, and he's been with me now for 20 years. And he's got a lot of stuff. And I had a period of time after my mum passed away where my granddaughter, who lived downstairs, she moved up in here. And so I've still got a wardrobe full of stuff of hers here. And I keep saying to her, you're going to come and get all this stuff. And she says, oh, she'll come every now and again and get a little bit. And then she'll say, oh, I don't want all the rest of it. But some of it is really good clothes. Things that she had when she was a teenager and she was working, and that she has put a little bit of weight on. So she said she'll never sort of wear it, and she's not in the sort of job now that she would be using all that sort of stuff. So she's got shoes in there with heels as high as they can come, lovely work suits and all sorts of things. So that's one thing that's going to have to be sorted. And I know people are probably saying get her to come and do it, but she's taken a few bits and pieces, and I'm a bit of a sucker. I'll end up doing it myself anyway. So that's one thing that I've got to do. I've still got the tail end of a lot of my mum's stuff here. Now, she's been gone for 9 years. She was an absolute book fanatic. She loved books. She had books coming out of her ears. Gradually over the years, I've been able to donate a lot of her books to book fairs and things like that, but there are still some here that at different times it's very hard to let them go. But I've decided that I'm going to have another sort through her books and just think, right, I'm ready to let that one go. And I know this sounds really stupid, but it's just, I know that she loved her books so much. And a lot of the books, I know where they've come from. And I just don't want to just get rid of them willy-nilly. I want to keep her in mind as I'm handing the books over to somebody else. So that's quite a job to do, actually, because it's to do with her and it's getting rid of her stuff, which is never ever easy. And anyone that has been through that, I mean, I had her living here with me for, 11 years. So her whole life had been packed up from where she was in her home and moved into here. And there was a lot of stuff that was stored in the garage. There was just boxes and boxes of stuff. Well, most of that I've gone through now, but there is still just a few bits and pieces that there's some that I'll never get rid of, but there are some there that just I think I'm ready to let them go. Stupid thing is, I've still got her ashes out there in the lounge, and I'm keep thinking I've got to start sorting out and putting her into Dad's grave, but up until now it's been one of those things I haven't been ready to let go, so I've got to get on and do that. So that's the other thing that I've got, is just to try and downsize. And even in this room, which is a spare room, It's got a big queen size bed in it for anyone that comes to stay, but there's drawers and there's cabinets and there's things full of stuff. And I've just got to get rid of it all. And the reason too is that a lot of the stuff that I've got actually was stuff and books and things that I had when I did my master's degree from university. And I'm not going back to university. I know I'm not going to. I've been as far as I want to go in that area, and I really want to concentrate now and do this YouTube channel. So that's what I want to put my time and energy into. So a lot of the things that I've got here that I've sort of held on to just in case I decide to go back and do some more study, I'm just going to have to take the bull by the horns and just say, no, not going to do that. I'm just going to get rid of all that stuff. So that's and that's sort of throughout the house as well, because I've got quite a bit of her kitchenware and mum's kitchenware and just things that she's had, which were here for her, and I don't really need to have them here anymore. So that's that job, is to try and downsize as much stuff as I can in the house. The other thing is too that a few years ago after I retired, I had a bit of a gardening binge, and I've got quite a big section down the back which is very slopey, and I used to go down there and I planted trees and did a whole lot of stuff, and I've got to get down 24 steps to get down to it, and then 24 to get back up again, which with my knees at the moment is an absolute impossibility. So I do get someone in to mow the lawns, but I have got a ton of garden stuff out in the garage, tools and things and fertilizers and seeds and you name it. There's, I could start a gift shop with gardening stuff in it. So that there is going to have a good clean out. I think I had a count the other day. I was looking for a pair of secateurs to do a bit of chopping up some bits, and I found 7 pairs of secateurs out in the garage. Every time I'd see a new pair, I'd think, oh, they're nice, I'll get those. So it's just ridiculous. I'm not a hoarder as such. I mean, this isn't a hoarder house. But when I see little things that I like, I'm inclined to buy them, and they've got to be got rid of. So yeah, that's another area that I've got to do out in the garage, is to have a good clean out of that too. So it's not just in the house, it's out, and it's a big double garage, and it fits the cars in okay, but just anyway, that's a bit silly. So that's that I've got to do. The last thing that I've decided that I'm going to do is to do with this channel. I've been looking at a lot of recipes and converting them so that how they can fit into my plan. And I'm going to make an effort to try and combine all those, or get them all together, and eventually perhaps do an ebook or something like that and put that together, so that down the track I might be able to, have that as something here on the channel. But that's going to be a wee way away. That I'm thinking about it. I'm putting bits and pieces aside, but I'm not actively sort of getting it all together, if you can understand what I mean. There's one thing with getting all the information, then there's another thing with getting it all into some sort of order. So that is an ongoing project, but the thing is that I've got to get underway first is all this downsizing of stuff. And that's going to be the first thing that I get done. And what I've decided that I'm going to do is make sure that everything is focused. If it doesn't fit in to the YouTube channel and what I'm doing now, then I'm going to have to start saying, no, I don't need that anymore. So that's where I'm at. These are the sort of changes that I'm looking to put into place at the moment. And this has all been brought on, I guess. I've had these things at the back of my mind to do, especially the downsizing and the minimalising. But it's taken this channel and the weight loss plan and being more organised to give me the motivation to be organised to do something like that. And I know it's going to be so much better, and it's just going to be something that I can unload and get out of my mind and then focus more on this channel. I've thought about a few things that I want to talk about from one weigh-in to another weigh-in at the end of the week, but I've got to sort of fill up those days in between, and I've got a few topics that I've noted already I'm going to be talking about. Just doing a little bit of research on those at the moment. So yeah, that's where my focus is at the moment, is on the channel and on my weight loss plan. And I shall carry on and just keep making progress, I hope. So that's for me for the day, and I shall get going and get this all sorted out again and online. So in the meantime, take care, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.